Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Tom, and I'm super excited to dive into today's topic. But before we get going, let me bring in my co-host. Jenna, how's it going?
Hi friends, I'm Jenna, and I'm just as pumped as Tom for this episode. We've got a really interesting comparison lined up, life in the US versus life in Japan. So if you're curious about cultural differences, stick around.
You know, Jenna, I always get questions from students about how the US and Japan differ. It's not just language, but the whole lifestyle, food, work, daily routines. What do you think makes this comparison so fascinating?
What grabs me is how two modern countries can feel worlds apart. For example, people in Japan might line up for trains so neatly, while in the US, things feel a bit more relaxed. It really highlights how culture shapes our everyday actions.
That's a great point. And sometimes we don't realize what's unique about our own culture until we see it through another lens. So, let's break it down, starting with daily life. Let's kick things off with mornings. I remember in the US, breakfast is often on the go, cereal, coffee, maybe a breakfast sandwich. How does that compare to Japan?
It's so different. In Japan, a traditional breakfast might include rice, miso soup, grilled fish, and even vegetables. It sounds elaborate, but it's part of their routine. Honestly, I wish I had the patience for that every morning.
Same. And it's wild how just the first meal sets the tone for the whole day. I think our quick breakfasts show the fast pace of American life, while Japanese mornings seem more mindful. Speaking of pace, work culture has to be one of the biggest differences. In the US, we talk a lot about work-life balance, but working late is still pretty common. What stands out to you about Japan's approach?
Japanese work culture is intense. You'll see people staying at the office long after hours, sometimes out of respect for their boss. There's this deep sense of duty and teamwork, but it can be exhausting, even leading to a word for overwork, karoshi.
Yeah, and while Americans value independence, Japanese workplaces often put the group first. I think there's a lesson from both sides, don't you? That actually reminds me of social interactions. In the US, we love small talk chats with store clerks, friendly hellos to neighbors. Japan, though, is famous for being more reserved. How did you find that difference?
It surprised me. In Tokyo, silence on trains is the norm, and being too chatty can feel out of place. But politeness is everywhere, just with fewer words. It made me realize how much I take American friendliness for granted.
I totally get that. Sometimes quiet respect says more than words ever could. Let's talk food, because honestly, I could talk about food all day. People think of sushi for Japan and burgers for the US, but there's so much more beneath the surface. What's your favorite hidden gem from both countries?
Oh, that's a tough one. In Japan, I fell in love with okonomiyaki, which is like a savory pancake you make right at your table. In the US, I have a soft spot for Southern barbecue, smoky, flavorful, and messy in the best way.
I'm getting hungry just listening to that. And it shows food is a whole experience, whether it's sharing plates in Japan or backyard cookouts here. Transportation is another big contrast. Most Americans depend on cars, but Japan's trains are legendary for being fast and on time. How did you adjust to getting around over there?
After living car-dependent all my life, navigating Japan's train system felt almost magical. Everything runs like clockwork. But I did miss the freedom of just hopping in my car and blasting music on a road trip.
Totally, each has its charm. Sometimes I crave the city buzz from public transport, and sometimes I just want open roads and a playlist. Switching gears a bit, let's talk about school. American classrooms can be lively and discussion-based, but my friends in Japan describe a much more formal environment. What differences stuck with you?
One thing that struck me is how Japanese students clean their classrooms themselves. It builds responsibility, for sure. And classes focus a lot on respect and structure, while American lessons encourage speaking up and questioning ideas.
Yeah, I remember debates in high school being almost like friendly arguments. It's cool how both systems teach valuable skills, just in different ways. After all that, it's amazing to see how both countries celebrate holidays. In the US, traditions like Thanksgiving or the 4th of July bring people together. While Japan has events like cherry blossom viewing, what's your favorite tradition from each?
There's something magical about hanami picnicking under blooming cherry trees in Japan. It's so peaceful. In the US, I love fireworks on the 4th of July. It always makes me feel connected to everyone around me. Traditions give us that sense of belonging.
Absolutely. And learning about each other's celebrations can make our own traditions feel richer. So, after exploring all these differences, I keep thinking, what could we learn from Japan? And what might Japan take from the US? Anything stand out for you, Jenna?
I think Americans could benefit from the mindfulness and group harmony in Japanese culture, especially slowing down and appreciating the moment. On the flip side, Japan might enjoy a little more of that American openness, like embracing individuality and speaking up.
That blend could be powerful. It's inspiring to see how much we can grow just by being open to new ways of doing things. Well, this hour just flew by. Before we sign off, Jenna, is there one piece of advice you'd give listeners curious about cultures different from their own?
Stay curious and don't be afraid to ask questions, even simple ones. Every time I learned about Japanese culture, it started with a conversation. Try something new. Even if it feels awkward at first, you'll grow so much.
I love that. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss a show. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you next time on the English Learning Podcast.